Hello, guys and gals, and this is part. Let me check my notes here. Part 22 of our reading of The Princess Bride. It's been a week since I read any of this, but I believe that in the last part, well, we'll go over that after the copyright information here. It's really important. It says back here, copyright 1973 by William Goldman. All rights reserved, published in the United States by Ballantine Books, a division of Random House Incorporated, New York, and simultaneously in Canada by Ballantine Books of Canada, Limited, Toronto, Canada. Library of Congress catalog number is there, the ISBN. This edition was published by arrangement with Harcourt Brace Jovanovic Incorporated, manufactured in the United States. First printing was 1974. Fourth printing was 77. Cover art by Norman Green. Anyways, in the last part, Wesley died, the man in black, and Physique and Inigo went and found him, and they braved the Zoo of Death, and that was kind of harrowing. Something just fell off. I don't know what it was, but I'll find out later. And so yeah, we're going to pick up where we left off, and I believe that they went to see someone named Max, and so we're going to find out what that's all about. We're almost done with this book. I think by the end of this week it will be done, and then we'll be reading a different book. Well, I just hope it's enough to buy a miracle. That's all. He was asking Physique if he had any money because he didn't have any money. He spent it all on brandy. When the knocking started on his hut door, Max almost didn't answer it. Go away, he almost said, because lately it was only kids come to mock him, except that this was a little past the time for kids being up. It was almost midnight, and besides, the knocking was both loud and at the same time rat-tat-tatty, as if the brain was saying to the fist, "Hurry it up. I want to see a little action." So Max opened the door a peek's worth. "I don't know you. Aren't you Miracle Max that worked all those years for the king?" the skinny guy said. "I got fired. Didn't you hear? That's a painful subject. You shouldn't have brought it up. Good night. Next time learn a little manners." And he closed the hut door. Rat-tat-tat. Rat-tat-tat. "Go away, I'm telling you, or I call the brute squad." "I'm on the brute squad," this other voice said from outside the door in a big, deep voice you wanted to stay friendly with. "We need a miracle. It's very important," the skinny guy said from outside. "I'm retired," Max said. "Anyways, you wouldn't want someone the king got rid of, would you? I might kill whoever you want me to miracle." "He's already dead," the skinny guy said. "He is? Huh," Max said, a little interest in his voice. Now he opened the door a peek's worth again. I'm good at dead. Please," the skinny guy said. "Bring him in. I'll make no promises," Miracle Max answered after some thought. This huge guy and the skinny guy brought in this big guy and put him on the hut floor. Max poked the corpse. Not so stiff as some," he said. The skinny guy said, "We have money." "Then go get some great genius specialist, why don't you? Why waste time messing around with me, a guy who the king fired? It almost killed him when it happened. For the first 2 years, he wished it had. His teeth fell out from gnashing. He pulled the few loyal tufts from his scalp in wild anger." "You're the only miracle man left alive in Florin," the skinny guy said. "Oh, so that's why you come to me," one of you said. "What'll we do with this corpse?" And the other one said, Let's take a flyer on this miracle man the king fired." And the first one probably said, "What have we got to lose? He can't kill a corpse." And the other one probably said, "You were a wonderful miracle man," the skinny guy said. It was all politics that got you fired. Don't insult me and say wonderful. I was great. I am great. There was never, you hear me, Sonny, a miracle man could match me. Half the miracle techniques I invented, and then they fired me. Suddenly his voice trailed off. He was very old and weak, and the effort that passionate speech had drained him. "Sir, please sit down," the skinny guy said. "Don't sir me, Sonny," Miracle Max said. He was tough when he was young, and he was still tough. "I got work to do. I was feeding my witch when you came in. I got to finish that now." And he lifted the hut trapdoor and took the ladder down into the cellar, locking the trapdoor behind him. When that was done, he put his finger to his lips and ran to the old woman cooking her chocolate over the coals. Max had married Valerie back a million years ago, it seemed like, at Miracle School, where she worked as a potion ladler. She wasn't, of course, a witch, but when Max started practice, every miracle man had to have one, so since Valerie didn't mind, he called her a witch in public, and she learned enough of the witch trade to pass herself off as one under pressure. "Listen, listen," Max whispered, gesturing repeatedly towards the hut above. "Upstairs, you'll never guess what I got. A giant and a spick." I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Sorry if that's offensive language, but that's in the book. I don't really know what a spick is. Wait a minute, let me see. I'm going to see if that's offensive speak, then I'm really sorry. Wait a minute. Seems it is a derogatory term for a Spaniard, and so I sincerely apologize for having to say that. I do not endorse what this book says. Okay, so I won't say that again. Oh wait. Now I lost my place. Sorry about that. And it's misspelled in the book because they put a K on the end of it. Oh, anyway. "A giant on a stick," Valerie said, clutching her heart. I guess that they had to do that for the joke. Sorry again. Her hearing wasn't what it once was. Spick, a Spanish fella. Scars and everything. A very tough cookie. Let's let them steal what they want. What do we have worth fighting over? They don't want to steal. They want to buy. Me. They got a corpse up there, and they want a miracle. You were always good at dead," Valerie said. She hadn't seen him trying so hard not to seem excited since the firing had all but done him in. She very carefully kept her own excitement under control. If only he would work again. Her Max was such a genius. They'd all come back. Every patient. Max would be honored again, and they could move out of the hut. In the old days, the hut was where they tried experiments. Now it was home. You had nothing else pressing on for the evening. Why not take the case? I could. I admit that no question. But suppose I did. You know human nature. They'd probably try getting out without paying. How can I force a giant to pay if he doesn't want to? Who needs that kind of grief? I'll send them on their way, and you bring me up a nice cup of chocolate. Besides, I was halfway through an article on eagle's claws that was very well written. Get the money in advance. Go. Demand if they say no. Out with them. If they say yes, bring the money down to me. I'll feed it to the frog, and they'll never find it, even if they change their mind and try to rob it back. Max started back up the stairs. What should I ask for? I haven't done a miracle. And in what? 3 years now? Prices may have skyrocketed. 50, you think? If they got 50, I'll consider. If not, out they go. Right, Valerie agreed, and the minute Max had shut the trap door, she clambered silently up the ladder and pressed her ear to the ceiling. Sir, we're in a terrible rush, so, this one voice said. Don't you hurry me, Sonny. You hurry a miracle man, you get rotten miracles. That what you want? You'll do it then? I didn't say I'd do it, Sonny. Don't try pressuring a miracle man. Not this one. You try pressing me, out you go. How much money you got? Give me your money, Physique, the same voice said again. Here's all I got, the great voice boomed. You count it, Inigo. There was a pause. 65 is what we've got, the one called Inigo said. Valerie was about to clap her hands with joy when Max said, I've never worked for anything that little in my life. You gotta be joking. Excuse me again. I'll go. I got to belch my witch. She's done eating by now. Valerie hurried back to the coals and waited until Max joined her. No good, he said. They only got 20. Valerie stirred away at the stove. She knew the truth, but dreaded having to say it, so she tried another trick. We're practically out of chocolate powder. 20 could surely be of help at the barterers tomorrow. No chocolate powder? Max said, visibly upset. Chocolate was one of his favorites, right after cough drops. Maybe if it was a good cause, you could lower yourself to work for 20, Valerie said. Find out why they need the miracle. They'd probably lie. Use the bellows. Cram if you're in doubt. Look, I would hate to have it on my conscience if we didn't do a miracle when nice people were involved. You're a pushy lady, Max said. But he went back upstairs. Okay, he said to the skinny guy. What's so special I should bring back out of all the hundreds of people pestering me every day for my miracles? This particular fella. And believe me, it better be worth it. Be better worthwhile. Inigo was about to say, so he can tell me how to kill Count Rugen. But that didn't quite sound like the kind of thing that would strike a cranky miracle man as aiding the general betterment of mankind. So he said, he's got a wife, he's got 15 kids, they haven't a shred of food. If he stays dead, they'll starve. So, oh, Sonny, are you a liar? Max said, and he went to the corner and got the huge bellows. I'll ask him. Max grunted, lifted the bellows towards Wesley. He's a corpse. He can't talk, Inigo said. This book is so weird. We got our ways, was all Max would answer, and he stuck the huge bellows way down into Wesley's throat and started to pump. You see, Max explained as he pumped, there's different kinds of dead. There's sort of dead, mostly dead, and all dead. This fellow here, he's only sort of dead. That means there's still a memory inside. There's still bits of brain. You apply a little pressure here, a little more here, a little there. Sometimes you get results. Wesley was beginning to swell slightly now from all the pumping. What are you doing? Physique said, starting to get upset. Never mind. I'm just filling his lungs. I guarantee you it ain't hurting him. He stopped pumping the bellows after a few moments more and then started shouting into Wesley's ear, what's so important? What's here worth coming back for? What you got waiting for you? Max carried the bellows back to the corner then and got out a pen and paper. It takes a while for that to work its way out, so you might as well answer me some questions. How well do you know this guy? Inigo didn't much want to answer that, since it might have sounded strange, admitting they'd only met once alive and then to duel to the death. How do you mean exactly? He replied. Well, for example, Max said, was he ticklish or not? Ticklish, Inigo exploded angrily. Ticklish? Life and death are all around you, and you talk ticklish? Don't you yell at me, Max exploded right back. And don't you mock my methods. Tickling can be terrific in the proper instances. I had a corpse once, worse than this fella. Mostly dead he was, and I tickled him and tickled him. I tickled his toes and tickled his armpits and his ribs, and I got a peacock feather and went after his belly button. I worked all day and I worked all night, and the following dawn, mark me, the corpse said, I just hate that. And I said, hate what? And he said, being tickled. I've come all the way back from the dead to ask you to stop. And I said, you mean this that I'm doing now with the peacock feather? It bothers you? And he said, you couldn't guess how much it bothers me. And of course, I just kept on asking him questions and about tickling, making him talk back to me, answer me, because I don't have to tell you once you get a corpse really caught up in conversation, your battle's half over. True love. Physique grabbed onto Inigo in panic, and they both pivoted, staring at the man in black who was silent. Again. True love, he said. Inigo cried. You heard him. True love is what he wants to come back for. That's certainly worthwhile. Sonny, don't you tell me what's worthwhile. True love is the best thing in the world except for cough drops. Everybody knows that. Then you'll save him, Physique said. Yes, absolutely. I would save him if he had said true love, but you misheard. Whereas I, being an expert on the bellows cram, will tell you that any qualified tongue man will only be happy to verify, namely that the F sound is the hardest of the corpse to master, and that I therefore comes out va. And when your friend said was to bluff, by which it meant obviously to bluff. Clearly he is either involved in a shady business deal or a card game and wishes to win, and that is certainly no reason enough for a miracle. I'm sorry, I never changed my mind once it's made up. Goodbye, take your corpse with you. Liar, liar, shrieked suddenly from the now open trapdoor. Miracle Max whirled. Back, witch, he commanded. Wait. Okay. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. She was advancing on them now, an ancient tiny fury. And after what you've just done, I don't think I want to be that anymore. Miracle Max tried to calm her, but she was having none of it. He said, true love, Max. Even I could hear it. True love, true love. Don't go on, Max said. And now there was pleading coming from somewhere. Valerie turned towards Inigo. He is rejecting you because he is afraid. He is afraid he's done. Oh, he's afraid he's done. That the miracles are gone from his once majestic fingers. Not true, Max said. You're right, Valerie agreed. It's not true. They never were majestic, Max. You were never any good. The ticklish cure, you were there. You saw. A fluke. All the downers I returned. Chance. Valerie, we've been married 80 years. How can you do this to me? Because true love is expiring and you haven't got the decency to tell why you don't help. Well, I do, and I say this Prince Humperdinck was right to fire you. Don't say that name in my hut, Valerie. You made a pledge to me you'd never breathe that name. Prince Humperdinck, Prince Humperdinck, Prince Humperdinck. At least he knows a phony when he sees one. Max fled towards the trapdoor, his hands going to his ears. But this is his fiancée's true love, Inigo said. Then, if you bring him back to life, he will stop Prince Humperdinck's marriage. Max's hands left his ears. This corpse here, he comes back to life, Prince Humperdinck suffers? Humiliations galore, Inigo says. Now that's what I call a worthwhile reason, Miracle Max said. Give me the 65. I'm on the case. He knelt beside Wesley. He said. What? Valerie said. She knew that tone. While you were doing all that talking, he slipped from sort of to mostly dead. Valerie tapped Wesley in a couple places. Stiffening, she said. You'll have to work around that. Max did a few taps himself. Do you suppose the oracle's still up? Valerie looked at the clock. I don't think so. It's almost 1. Besides, I don't trust her all that much anymore. Max nodded. I know, but it would have been nice to have a little advance hint on whether this is gonna work or not. He rubbed his eyes. I'm tired going in. I wish I'd known in advance about the job. I'd have napped this afternoon. He shrugged. Can't be helped. Down is down. Get me my encyclopedia of spells and the appendix. The hexappendix. I thought you knew all about that kind of thing, Inigo said, starting to get upset himself now. I'm out of practice. Retired. It's been 3 years. You can't mess around with these resurrection recipes. One little ingredient wrong, the whole thing blows up in your face. Here's the hex book and your glasses, Valerie puffed, coming up the basement ladder. As Max began thumbing through, she turned to Inigo and Physique, who were hovering. You can help, she said. Anything, Physique said. Tell us whatever's useful. How long do we have for the miracle, if we work it? When we work it, Max said from his hex book. His voice was growing stronger. When we work it, Valerie went on. How long does it have to maintain full efficiency? Just exactly. What's going to be done? Well, that's hard to predict, Inigo said, since the first thing we have to do is storm the castle, and you never can be really sure how those things work out. An hour pill should be about right, Valerie said. Either it's going to be plenty or you'll both be dead. So why not say an hour? We'll all three be fighting, Inigo corrected. And then once we've stormed the castle, we have to stop the wedding, steal the princess, and make our escape, allowing space somewhere in there for me to duel Count Rugen. Visibly, Valerie's energy drained. She sat wearily down. Max, she said, tapping on his shoulder. No good. He looked up. Huh? They need a fighting corpse. Max shut the hex book. No good, he said. But I bought a miracle, Inigo insisted. I paid you 65. Look here, Valerie thumped Wesley's chest. Nothing. You ever hear anything so hollow? This man's life has been sucked away. It'll take months before there's strength again. We haven't got months. It's after 1 now, and the wedding is at 6 tonight. What parts can we hope to have in working order in 17 hours? Well, Max said, considering. Certainly the tongue, absolutely the brain, and with luck, maybe a little slow walk if you nudge him gently in the right direction. Inigo looked at Physique in despair. What can I tell you, Max said. You need a phantasmagoria, and you never could have gotten one of those for 65, Valerie added consolingly. Little cut here, 20 pages maybe. What happens basically is an alteration of scenes. What's going on in the castle? Then what's the situation with the Miracle Man back and forth, and with every shift he gives the time. Sort of, there were now 11 hours until 6 o'clock, that kind of thing. Morgenstern used the device mainly because what he's really interested in, as always, is the satiric anti-royalty stuff, and how stupid they were going through with all these old traditions, knowing the sacred ring of great grandfather so and so, etc. There is some action stuff which I cut, which I never did anywhere else, and here's my logic. Inigo and Physique have to go through a certain amount of daring do in order to come up with the proper ingredients for the resurrection pill. Stuff like Inigo finding some frog dust while Physique is off after Holocaust mud. This ladder, for example, requiring first Physique acquiring a Holocaust cloak so he doesn't burn to death, gathering the mud, etc. Well, to my conviction that this is the same kind of thing as the Wizard of Oz sending Dorothy's friends to the Wicked Witch's castle for the ruby slippers. It got the same feel, if you know what I mean. And I didn't want to risk, when this book's building to climax, the reader saying, "Oh, this is just like the Oz books." Here's the kicker, though. Morgenstern's Florinese version came out before Braun wrote the Wizard of Oz, so in spite of the fact that he was the originator, he comes out just the other way around. It would be nice if somebody, maybe a PhD, candidate on the loose did a little something for Morgenstein's reputation, because, believe me, if being ignored is suffering, this guy has suffered. The other reason I made the cut to this, you just know that the resurrection pill was going to work. You didn't spend all that time with a nutty couple like Max and Valerie to have it fail. At least a whiz like Morgenstern didn't. We're going to have to stop it there, and then we will finish this here. He's still got a lot of reading to do. So, anyways, a lot of expounding. Anyways, we have been reading from William Goldman's The Princess Bride. If you like this content, then make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload. Also, support me in any way. And if you want to join the Discord server, all the information will be in the description below. So, as always, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.